Welcome to another episode of The Conversation. My name is Inkirika, and we're going to have a very interesting conversation. A conversation that affects me and affects, I'm sure, a young lady, a lady out there. With me, before I start my gist anywho, with me to make sure that this gist enters very, very well, are some very nice young men. Uncle Chuku, are you a young man?
Very.
And some very pretty young ladies. Let me start by my right. Please introduce yourselves.
Hello viewers, my name is Jane Sampson.
My name is Hamilton.
I'm Ruth Baka.
Chukumo Haka.
So we're here to gist on something called late marriages. Why are the men of these days refusing, taking time to put a ring on it?
Oh yeah.
Stay with me after this break. If you're just joining us on The Conversation, my name is Inkirika, and we are talking on late marriages. Let's start the conversation, please. Why are these men refusing to put a ring on it like Beyonce said?
Wow.
Start with Jane.
Kiru, this is the topic that affects a whole lot of ladies around me, and I know around the world. The truth is, personally, I honestly I don't have a particular answer.
Okay.
But I think I'll pinpoint it to one or two things. I was speaking to a gentleman more recently, and he was like, "Oh, of course I really want to get married, but the country is hard, things are difficult. I don't have a job. That is a factor. That's a contributing factor why we don't want to get married. So sometimes I think one of the major reasons why a lot of these young men are not putting a ring on it is maybe it's actually because they feel they cannot take care of the women and the children. Marriage is no joke.
Marriage is very simple.
Yeah. Marriage is not a joke.
Marriage is very simple.
It is simple when you are prepared.
Marriage is very simple.
Talking from the married man's point of view.
Marriage is very simple. I'll tell you why I say marriage is simple.
Okay.
There are three things that are very simple in life, and they are the most essential in life. The first is marriage. The second is training people in school. The third is building a house.
Okay.
These three things, you don't have any pressure on yourself. You put yourself on the kind of pressure you want to be on.
Okay.
There is no standard of marriage. High class, low class, middle class, whatever standard you want to do. People misunderstand the purpose. When you don't understand the purpose, that's why it looks as if you might start to build your house with 50,000 naira. You don't have a deadline on the day you finish your house. Now, when you put pressure on yourself is when you want to impress people that you finish building your house in 2 years. You might decide to marry. It's not compulsory that you go outside the world and invite everybody for your marriage. The marriage is between you and your wife and the families of both yourself and your wife. You must not go outside to go and hit and call everybody to come and... People want to please others, and that's why it looks like it's difficult.
So do you get married in 5 years? Like you build your house in 5 years?
Why not?
How do you do
You
that?
can't take a decision to get married today. Move into your house with your wife. Now, when we talk about marriage, if you go culturally, I'm from a place where the bride price is very high. But a lot of people have married without going through that exorbitant bride price. So you say cut your clothes according to your clothes size, not according to your size.
How much is your bride price?
I know, no, we don't have it. I'm from
Just
Mbise.
estimate.
Okay, let me tell you why. I'm from Mbise. And
So
our women are wonderful women.
Of course, we are very expensive.
Our women are very wonderful, and we attach a lot of value on our women.
That's right.
And when a woman comes to your home, everything around you changes.
That's right.
They build your home. So you want to know more? You want to come and marry us?
Some happier women are like that too.
Now, but the truth is this, the focus here is this. Men are scared because the ladies most times put that pressure of fear in them. You want to get married today, and they're giving you the kind of marriage. We have a lot of plastic marriages we want to replicate. We want to watch one Nollywood,
want Bella Naija
something,
kind of
Bella
marriage.
Naija thing and Instagram stuff.
But
I want to replicate
can
it
you marry
in the
these days with
Okay, give us your point. What do you
100,000
think,
naira?
Hamilton?
Why not?
Hamilton, what do you think?
100,000.
Why not?
Hamilton, why are you not married?
Yes, answer us.
First of all, I have 4 years to go. I intend to get married at 40.
Really?
40.
Yes.
Are you kidding me?
And secondly, there's a way.
Why 40?
Okay, why 40?
Did you see the silence in the house?
Okay,
Wow.
why 40?
Yeah.
40
That's
is
late
because
marriage, by the way.
It
It is,
late
it is,
marriage.
it is.
Yes, it's because I did not start early enough.
Okay. When you say you didn't start early enough, what
Okay,
do
he's
you
speaking
mean?
about himself. now.
I'm talking about myself personally. There are a lot of structures I
put in
want,
place?
I need to put in place before that time. So
Sorry, I mean,
I've
sorry,
given
Cotton,
myself
what
a-
are those structures?
I think it's covered.
okay, structures. First of all, I discovered myself, what I truly wanted to become. I grew up in the school of hard knocks, where people dictate and tell you what to do. Where today you are in one auntie's house, serving, and they promise you that you resume school in 3 months' time, and you are there for like 2 years and nothing happens.
Okay, are you picking one of the reasons that
Yeah,
caused
one of the
late
reasons,
marriage?
yes.
You understand?
Yes, are you picking it?
There's a lot to my decision, and but trust me, I probably would just surprise anybody. But like I envisaged,
Yeah.
in the next 4 years, everything should be in place because I don't like to surprise myself.
Okay, let me say this for the benefit of yourself
Yeah.
and our viewers. You don't need to put all structures in place. I wanted to know the structures you talked about. I started thinking about marriage when I was in year 2, year 3. One of the one of my topmost priorities was getting married.
My wife will not trek.
No. Did you see that? Did you see
I
that?
like that.
Did you see your word? Your wife will not do what?
Will not trek.
Your wife will not trek.
I've stayed with people and I see how going for an antenatal is difficult.
Okay, now this is, sorry, Hamilton, this is, a lot of people are in Hamilton's shoes.
Yes.
That's why we are discussing
Yes.
it. Now I'm not particularizing it to you. Now I'm speaking for the viewers' interest. Your wife will not trek. It's a self-inflicted burden.
Yes.
I married my wife. I'll give you a story.
You said something.
Sorry.
before-
I'll give you a
before
story.
Now. Sorry, let me
Okay.
quickly cut you on this. You said something. You said you want to live your best life and also give your best. This is me taking my.
Okay, now
decision. We discussed
okay,
it
Dad,
before.
let me explain to you. When I was about to get married to my wife, I did not have anything. My salary then was 30-something thousand. Ours was that. It wasn't it wasn't anything to go. That was at the boom time of the banking era, where my mates were earning 150-200,000. So you shouldn't just think about it. The guys I had as friends then were all with Toyota Camry, Toyota this, Toyota
I know.
that. They were going for their vacation. I was squatting in a house when I proposed to my wife.
Okay.
Now I'm coming. I went to my mother-in-law's place. She told her daughter that how can, my wife is the last, how can after training her daughter, somebody without a car will come and marry the daughter, jokingly. So when I was going to marry their house, I used Okada. She said I should stop at the junction. She sent her driver to come and pick me. When I got to her house, I told her, Mama, you will see car in this house, you tire. And that was the last time I went with Okada into the house. You grew. Most times, I remember what my one-time MD told me. He's a Muslim. When I was about to get married, he told me, he said, he calls me Haka. He said, Haka, you should know that you're taking the right decision. He said, when you are about to marry, he said, the Muslims believe that the wealth of a man is in the wife he is about to marry. That when you bring your wife home, God's blessings on your wife will rub off on you. And it is the same thing in the Christian. He that finds a wife finds a good thing, obtains favor. When you do the preparation thing and want to get married when you are prepared, you might be delaying it. You have to find the person that suits your dream and vision, run the race with her. My wife and I, once we were coming back, in the midst of rain, a friend of ours was dropping us from church. It was raining heavily. His girlfriend then told him, stop these people here. In the midst of rain, it was raining, downpour. The man dropped us on the road. It was raining heavily. We came down and we walked back to the house. The rain beat us from that place to our house. Do you know the irony? I can't remember them now.
You were not smiling then.
Me? I wish my wife was there to tell you.
I'm sure your wife would have.
No, I wish she was there to tell. I wish she was there to tell. We never cried. The most important thing is how positive. The happiness you have in your life, it's you. It's inside you. I was smiling. If she was there, she would tell you. I smiled all through. I told her, don't worry, this is just not the end. I have friends that would still tell me till tomorrow, man, you surprised us. Because that time I was living a very happy life. It's about the knowledge you have. If you know where you are going, where you are will not be a defect.
Very
it will not
true.
affect you.
Come on.
I knew I wasn't going to end up like begging. Bros, if you know how many cars I have now, those people, I can't, truth be told, we discussed that sometime like 7-8 months. But I can't remember that person that dropped us. That I don't know who the person is. That's to tell you that I didn't pick offense. If I picked offense, I would have registered it in my mind.
Yeah.
I can't remember who these people are. But they dropped us. It didn't change anything.
Ruth, do you have
But
something to say?
the economic factor is what we're looking at currently. But the thing is, right now, with the way civilization or westernization has come up, people are no longer looking at marriage as a prominent thing or as something you need to. You go to families where you hear the mother telling a grown-up lady, please, so my daughter, go to school. She's 26. They're already telling her, go to school, get your master's, make all the money, be independent before you even get into marriage.
That's
So
another
even
thing.
if the guy is ready, even if the lady is ready, they are looking at the whole, I want to be independent, I want to have fun, I want to enjoy my youthful stage before I enter into marriage. So it's not just about the whole economic thing that, okay, the guy has to make money or they have to be all comfortable. It's about the fact that now, okay, back then, people, before you get a child from a lady, you have to marry her. Now,
Baby
come
mama.
on,
Baby
it's
mama.
everywhere. So you don't even have to marry a lady to have a child. So most ladies feel, what's the point? You hear a lady will turn down a proposal from a very a wonderful guy. Why? Because she feels if it's a child, I can have a child. You get, if it's to be happy, I can be happy. I can travel to wherever I want to be. I can go to wherever. You get. So the whole idea about marriage right now, it's what they downplay.
Comes to the lady, the wrong people have been coming to that lady.
That's
Because
also another
that's
factor.
another
That's
factor.
also another
That's
factor,
why a
because when it
lot
comes
of
to
ladies
marriage-
are not married
Yes.
today.
When it comes
Past
to marriage,
experience?
yes. When it comes to marriage, I mean,
There's no star. There's no one size fits all.
Yeah,
There's
there's
no
no
one
one
size
size fits
fits
all.
all, no.
What happens to Mr. A
It's
might not happen to Mr.
yeah,
B.
at
So
all.
for somebody, okay, I want to have education. I remember my own mother saying to me, oh, I really want you to get the best of education. My mother said that to me. Because my mother is not very educated, but she wanted me to really get the education. Like, we were talking off stage about having the best for yourself and your children. So for some parents, they have a view of, oh, this is where I want this child to be. So I want this child to have a master so that they go into the marriage prepared, which is not a bad thing. Let's tell ourselves the truth. It is not a bad thing to be prepared into marriage. For me, my perception is, like I said, marriage is no joke. You have to be mentally, psychologically prepared for marriage.
Spiritually.
Yes, spiritually,
Yeah,
thank you. So marriage is not something you just dump. You just wake up, okay, I'm a young man, oh, it's time to get married. No. Our generation is now people, like she said, people are now taking decisions of, you know what, I'll just live my life. When it's time for me to get married, even the young men, I just get a child and I'm good to go. People are taking, I mean, it used to be a Western thing, but it's coming down to our culture. So from my perception, I have a perception of you have to be, especially in this generation. And my brother, the scenario you gave was a very beautiful scenario. But
Beautiful.
in this generation, it's very difficult. Let's tell ourselves the truth.
These days, you find
the truth
ladies
is,
that will
what
tell
if
you,
a
you
lot
are
of
not
how many
my
ladies,
class.
how many ladies want to, after having their first degree, having their second degree, and they will meet a gentleman that is earning 38,000.
I want to.
Let's tell ourselves the truth. That's the reality.
Okay. Funny enough, we have a group in our classmates and we have ourselves.
Yes.
And one of these days, this matter came up. We had a lecturer then who used to tell us back in the school to get used to each other and he used to tell the ladies then, marry them now, catch them now.
Yes.
They are millionaires tomorrow.
Yes.
Yeah.
The fact that a man earns 30,000 naira today does not define him.
Of course, no. Let's not.
I'm coming.
Let's not take it off. Let's not take it
yes,
off. I am not saying. Of course, I married my husband as almost a nobody.
Yes,
and we are still building our pathway. And guess what? I have peace.
Beautiful.
And so it goes back to which individual wants.
Jen, if we would want to look at it the way it is, the country is not getting any better.
It's not, unfortunately.
So the fact remains that we would always continue to improve and strive to get it better.
That's right.
But individually, our self-definition of happiness matters most. When we fail to know, I always say, you have to define what you want. That my friend married with 2 cars does not mean I should marry with 2 cars.
Course.
And I always say this also. Life is like hold up. When you're driving on the hold up, you're on this lane today, on this lane now, the other lane is moving. You think that this lane is not moving. All of a sudden, you move out from that lane that you were waiting to the other lane that you think is moving. The other lane where you moved out from starts moving. That's life. The fact that someone married with vehicle or has 3 cars or has something like what Hamilton said, already settled, does not mean that he's going to have that till the end of life. Some still have it till the end of life.
Chukuma, can I say something? We're talking about people who, they have economic challenges, right? But I know some mad rich
dudes.
Do you understand?
Mad rich dudes.
I know some young 45, almost 50 guys. Plenty money. Problem is how to spend it. Uncle marry, you won't marry. So how would you address those people? What is the
freedom.
problem?
Fear of freedom.
They want
Maturity.
their space.
Fear of freedom. Fear of
They
freedom.
don't want to release their
So
space.
do we agree that
They
when a guy
enjoy
gets a
their
particular
space.
age, because he has become a mancello, right?
Yeah, that's what they are.
Yeah,
Because
that's
he
what
has
they
become
are.
a mancello, he might not get married again.
A lot are having issues. I remember one of the things my cousin told me while I was leaving school. She told me that, she said, brother, get married quick. I asked her why. She said, there are 3 things around you, I've seen you. It's my elder cousin. I'm sure she may have forgotten. It helped me in taking the decision. She said, you're handsome, you're very intelligent, and you look very, very industrious. She said, if you make the mistake of not getting married early enough, you might end up, when you would have had money, be confused because you don't know
Hard choice.
who is coming to you, what the person is coming for. When you drive a Benz, some ladies will love guys that drive Benz.
True.
They're not coming for your heart, they're coming for your Benz.
Of course.
When you work in an exotic office, some people might want to use your contact. They want to marry you for your contact, not for your heart. When you do another, you understand? So it is very, very important that these guys understand this. There is a level of your life you will get to. It becomes difficult to identify which of this lady is coming for real. Again, most of these men that you call menchelos are out there because they are scared of their freedom.
When you
Marriage-
say freedom, what do you mean? Because nobody
Marriage comes with a lot of responsibilities.
Yes.
Marriage comes with a lot of responsibilities. Part of those responsibilities is this. You must learn to respect your partner. You don't marry someone's daughter and bring the person and become a bully. And that's why you see that most of these homes no longer, divorce is very rampant now. You have to subject yourself to some things you don't want to obey before. If you are the night clubber, you marry a wife who is not a night clubber. She wants you back home on time. You must come back on time.
That's right.
There are some personal lifestyles you must drop because you are getting married. You are ready now to meet with these people, this person you're married to, get a home or get a family. So when you still want to marry and be a mancello, that's where the crisis comes. And most of these guys, like she had said, Ruth had said it, they have looked at it. A lot of them define marriage as a way of getting children. Now they say, okay, if that's all about it, I just get a baby mama and have my freedom.
Flex my
The same
life.
thing applies to the ladies. You see the all-time celebrities, you see them getting married because here in our family this thing, it's we're all, you must marry. It's a thing that whether we like it or not, we Nigerians, whatever tribe we are, marriage is something that every family will want to witness.
Yes.
Now, because of family pressure, they get into marriage, and when they get in and see this conflict that comes with marriage, they want to go out for concert. The husband or their mother-in-law is around. Mother-in-law comes in the morning. She wants to be served food, and sister is about going out to go do her concert. You can't tell her. Before you know it, somebody is planting seed in the heart of the man. Conflict comes in.
Yeah.
So the fear of freedom is why most of these guys are not doing this. And this, again, the social media hype is so much now.
Okay.
People no longer trust each other. Before the history is that our parents then used to know who their wives used to be. They will look at a child and say, my daughter will marry this man, or my son will marry this. And they grow them up to meet themselves and get married. It's no longer like that.
Do you think we should actually introduce that? I'm thinking of that.
What?
It's not working.
Who told you?
It can't work in
It's
this
not
generation.
what-
It can't work in
in
this
this
generation.
world- in this world of
this generation, it can't work.
I personally told my father to go and arrange a husband for me.
You've not told me, I would have
How many
given you.
ladies
I
can
will
accept
accept
The
that.
husband is not ready.
How many ladies can
Sorry?
accept to that?
What if the husband
what
does
if
not
the
You will
choice
find-
of that
what
husband?
used to happen in those days, they found a family that was ready. They found a man that was ready. And they said, this is my daughter, to whom you're well pleased. Take.
And how about the what the ladies or the women went through in that marriage?
I'm pretty sure a lot of them did not go through a lot of things.
And
In
you-
marriage who doesn't go through whatever in marriage?
A lot of
The
them
truth
went
is
through
life
things
has
that
become- life has
now
become
ladies won't even
Since you
tolerate.
told your father
Yes.
to
Arrange
get
it.
That is
someone
years
for you.
ago.
That was what I was going to ask you.
has been
How
unable
much
to.
progress have you made?
Exactly.
Now we have a lot of dating sites
Yeah.
everywhere. You find ladies every day, like
Yeah.
10 who click on your profile, they want to meet you
Yes.
and all of that. But you don't end up with those people. Why? A lot of factors, a lot
So
of
what-
things.
So another issue-
Even in the church, even in the
Yes.
church.
Okay, one of them.
Okay,
One of them
Yes.
is okay. I met you on social media,
Yes.
and okay, for cool, we decided to hang out. I discovered that this person has a lot of habits or
Flaws.
flaws that I am not comfortable with.
Okay.
Those days, life was not as
As
complicated
complex.
as it is
Yes.
now.
Wow, exactly.
Those days, a regular guy is comfortable wearing. In my village, you just wear your singlet and your wrapper, you are fine.
Then or now?
You
Okay.
are fine. Now you go around, you have a day. Then if you a daily pay then used to be 150 naira. When you are done working with that 150, you can do a whole lot. You are comfortable. You see them by 2 o'clock. Those young guys, they are already under one tree playing games. Now life was not as serious as it is then as like it is now. As I speak with you, when I leave here, I'm going to another site. I just came back from one. From that, I have series of meetings. If I show you my phone, this is just one human being. I was telling my senior Oga here just now that life now is difficult than it used to be.
But what we're saying is that.
So
and-
we what we call we are all evolving
Yeah.
is actually affecting
Okay.
the original structure
Oh, I agree
and
with you.
plans.
I agree with you, bro. See,
Do we blame it on our parents?
No, it's nothing to
Of course
nothing,
not.
nothing to
Blame
blame
it
on the
Of
parents.
course not.
on this invincible.
Okay. I'll take an analogy from the Bible. I was speaking with my friend sometime either this week or last week. He said he can't believe that in his lifetime what is written in the Bible will begin to happen. Where they say
Seven
that
women have
we
been
hold on to a
snared.
man and say marry us. Just let's pay the bride price ourselves. So that
But it's
but
already
want to answer your name.
Yeah.
Now, we should focus on another thing about
Yes.
when you talked about habits. Every individual has a flaw.
True that.
The guys, the girls.
Originally, sir, those days a regular woman
Yeah.
knows that how they know that you are a proper lady is you know how to cook, you know how to go, you know how to put your home in order and all of that. But how many women, I can tell you those days, you have 99% of women, an average Nigerian understands chores, knows how to keep herself clean.
Okay.
And
Let me
all
help
that.
No.
Sorry.
Excuse me.
But
Let me
these
finish. Let me
days,
finish.
these days,
Yeah.
you
Don't
find
do
ladies
chores.
that a lady will walk past you, and those days you walk past
Right.
people and you greet.
While are
Yeah.
they?
These days, you find a lady who look at you and tell you hello, even if you are a grandfather.
So it's just ladies.
Tell you hello.
I was going to answer him.
I'm coming. Let me. So just ladies that don't greet.
Now for the guys,
Yes.
when I came here, I greeted everyone. I was trained.
No, you remember the
Okay,
thing is, why are the men
Why are the men? Let's not digress.
Now, why are the men
I
refusing
don't
to
want,
put a ring on
Mr.
it?
Chukwuma
Is
to-
because whether you like it or yes, I think a lot of us, even my Oga here, still holds on to those values, those old things that he was brought up with. I am one typical Edo man as well. There are certain things I will never joke with. People call it pride, but I call it religion, and it's a good one for me. If you find people, you come around where elders are seated, you cannot greet.
So the lady should be cautious.
Let me say something.
Sorry.
The thing they call evolution.
Let me say something. Let Jen talk.
Let me say something. I think it goes down to perception.
Good.
Your mindset. And I think the young men of this generation, they need to work on their mindset.
Okay, I'll give you another
I'm not finished.
scenario.
I haven't finished.
You find
finished.
someone, just one scenario. A lady is comfortable wearing bikinis to a beach. I posted it recently, to a beach. Then that same lady wears that same bikini in her house, lingeries in her house, and you knock and she runs to the bathroom. She does not want you to see it. Don't you think something is wrong with that person's mind?
Oh my
Okay,
God.
Let Jen continue. Joe was saying something.
Finish.
Okay, Hamilton, you said so much and I don't know which one to pick.
How to deconstruct
But
what you're
hey,
saying.
I want
I
to
feel
try
like
to bring it
crossing
down.
my leg now.
Go ahead. Hamilton, I think, first of all, you need to work on your mindset. I think you need to work on your thinking, not just
A lot of guys are like you. A lot of brothers are like you.
Listen to me, Hamilton. I totally agree with values. I'm a woman that I live by values. I live by principles. But like you said something earlier, you said the world is evolving. If you don't evolve with this world, you just be in your own balloon.
I'll just answer that question.
You just use that balloon. You're saying that women are supposed to be doing chores. They don't do chores anymore. So
No, I said no. Like recently, I employed
So is it because
a
of
house
this choice
help
the man
because of chores, I'm not getting married.
for my
but most
fiance.
ladies are
Why
the
did
reason
I
why guys are
did
not
that
putting the ring on it.
was for the lady to help her handle certain things. Ordinarily, I wouldn't have even done that if I was that typical person that you are already painting me to be.
No,
but I
no,
told her
it's from your
something.
words,
I
it's from what you said.
said, do you know why is this house the way it is now? It's because even for yourself, you don't know how these things work. So
Okay,
you cannot
Hamilton, I
even
agree.
direct
Okay,
someone
let
to
me
help
let
you.
me say
If you don't
something,
know how to
Hamilton.
wash your clothes, when someone washes your clothes for you anyhow, you just take it like that.
Hamilton.
Okay, so
I-
going
I'm
back,
saying
going back
no
to
for
the-
yourself.
Let's hear Ruth.
I support what he's saying.
Okay.
No
A
for
lot
yourself.
of ladies
Yes.
are the reason why guys are taking so long
Explain.
to put a ring on it. First of
One
all,
of
why
the
would you-
factors, one of the
why would you
reasons.
pay for something when you already have it?
That's a
You get.
factor.
Why should I
That's a factor.
when
That's a factor.
when I already own
I
it,
totally agree.
you go to a guy's house.
But
You-
that's different. That's
No.
different.
No,
from what
that's
you said.
That's a view. Continue.
It's almost the same thing. You go to a guy's house as a lady. He has not paid a dime on your
Thank
head.
you.
He has
You're
not done
washing
it.
his
You are
clothes.
washing
You're
his clothes. You are
cooking. You're
cooking.
cleaning.
You are cleaning.
You're
You're
gardener.
going to his.
You're even a driver.
You are cleaning the
Nobody is
gates.
even
You are
asking
doing
you to
everything.
do all of that.
But that is what you
Do you
expect
know
us
why?
to do. How
No,
you said cut
that's
it.
not what I'm saying.
But
What
that's
I'm
you
saying
said,
is, you go to
It's
their
part of the
homes.
thing.
Like I said, I employed for her a house help.
Really?
As I speak with you, she does not wash her clothes. I had to teach her that when you see lines, dirty lines on your clothes after
woman
washing,
you want to marry.
know that the former one.
Okay.
Know that
Thank God it's the former one.
know that the water you are using to rinse is not clean.
My brother,
Well, are you saying
Hamilton.
that because the woman cannot wash her clothes, that's why the man is
Okay.
taking
I'm just
time?
Okay, let me tell
citing
my brother, listen. To be honest with you, if you continue in this line, at 40 you'll not marry.
No,
I'm sorry to say.
I'm
It's
already-
true.
See, let me tell you
I'm
this.
It's true.
You have to overlook a lot of things. And truth be told, a lot of guys are like Hamilton.
Yes.
A whole lot
Especially
of guys.
young men of this
They
generation.
want a woman that would be like a slave.
No, that's
Sorry, sir. You see, in this world,
a woman that has values.
Sorry, sir. Every
that
woman,
knows
sorry,
what
sorry.
she's doing.
Every woman has value.
Yes.
Every woman has value.
Virtues.
You bring the see.
You
Sorry.
understand what I'm saying?
Now you done what you find in the ladies, you find in the guys.
That's true.
Now you've talked about the ladies. Now you have guys who don't work.
Yeah.
Who all they do is to sit and think of how to milk a lady.
Thank you.
All they
Waiting
think
for
about
already
is
made
go
woman.
to lady, collect money, use the lady's money to do another rubbish. All every day they think about is drive a lady's car, use the lady's car and beat the lady on top of it, and also use the lady's money to carry another woman into the lady's house. So, sorry, sir. Let me come. If your fear for getting married is because you have ladies that don't greet again, my brother, you will not get married.
That's the truth.
Because greeting is for everyone.
No, I have one now.
Sorry, sir. I'm coming. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about our viewers.
This one is.
I'm talking to our viewers now. Greeting is for everyone.
Yeah.
What I was going to ask when you were saying that was that why are you not living in the cave houses? Why are you in town? Why are you not living in one thatch house and live there and become Okonkwo of things fall apart? Who will sit down and call five ladies and they will give.
In that regard, I like to evolve in that light.
Sorry, sir.
Not in some
Sorry, sir.
But
But before we digress, please, I need to come back.
Yeah.
There are several negative effects to late marriages.
Please.
And we should address it so that people would know. When you marry late, chances are that you give birth late. Chances are that you might not have you might not have the best time to give to your children.
True.
I'm always happy when I come home. My son says, "Daddy, let's play football." That's fun.
I'm going to get married tomorrow.
That's fun. I'm happy when I'm home. We discuss some certain things.
Okay.
Okay, well,
that
break.
thing you've just said, Uncle Chukuma, just hold it very well. We're going to go on a break. We'll continue from there.
All right.
Fertility per se, no. What do I mean? The man produces new sperm cells every 6 weeks or thereabouts. 72 to 90 days is producing a new sperm cell coming from germ cells. So each time, unless the man has some problems associated with these reproductive tract, maybe from infection or poor blood supply, etc. Otherwise, it should not, the fact that he's 40 years of age should not affect his fertility, because the sperm is new each time. Now, the difference between the man and the woman is that the woman is born with all the eggs she is going to need in her lifetime. So in actual fact, the woman's egg is as old as the woman. Whereas in the case of the man, he's producing new sperm cells each time. Now, what happens? The eggs are already there with the woman, and each cycle, some group of eggs begin to mature. And the ones that matures first burst up as the one that comes out as ovulation. The rest degenerates. So as the woman gets older, the eggs are also getting older. So it gets to a point where you are not able to retrieve viable egg from the women. So that it was not unusual for a woman about 50 not to be able to produce eggs that are viable. And because also of the aging of the egg in the woman, you have a situation where the older the woman, the tendency to having abnormal babies increases because of the egg quality. So that is what. But however, having said so, while in terms of sperm production, the man may not be affected just because of age. We also know that with aging, there's a tendency towards increased erectile dysfunction in men. And considering the fact that if you're going to have natural conception, the man needs to be able to have an erection so as to be able to introduce the sperm where it should be. In that wise, yes, they may be affected. If the woman has had an abortion, not even talking of repeated abortion, and is not properly cared for, the tubes can be blocked. She can have pelvic inflammatory diseases, or that can affect fertility. Okay, now we're talking about contraception, but I think the issues around contraception are beyond question of whether it would be fertile or non-fertile, because there are a lot of issues ranging from which drugs are likely to cause cancer, which are not likely to cause cancer. If the woman is using a device in her womb, which may cause some reaction, so there are a lot of common of this could happen. So we will not speculate on that, but if there's any infection whatsoever, it could compromise fertility. Erectile dysfunction is one of the issues men have as they are aging. You already mentioned them. If the man has a recurrent infection, blocked valves, will make reproduction a problem. If the man is aging and his prostate is enlarged, that may also make reproduction, give him issues with reproduction. So both men and women, as they get older, have certain issues that could affect reproduction. But in terms of whether a man is infertile because of age, or a woman is infertile, that you're now talking about the ability to produce eggs and sperm. Like I said earlier, the woman is born with all her eggs, so the eggs age, whereas the man has fresh sperm each time.
We're talking about why is it that men of nowadays are refusing to put the ring on it. We're talking about late marriages. Uncle Chukuma, you were saying something.
Now, I'll start from I say the physical to the health. Now, the physical is when you give birth late, you do school runs late.
That's right.
At the age of 60 or
You use your retirement package pension to train your child, and in most cases it might not be there. At the end, you become a burden to a child that you are supposed to be a blessing to. Now the child begins to tend for an aged father who is suffering from high blood pressure, who is suffering from, because as a result of this, you see frustration sets in. You won't give the best to your child. Psychologically, you're not raising a better child. But when you marry early and you're blessed early and you have children early, you see and no matter what you earn, the child emulates from you. There is one advert I used to see by one telecom of a child who understudies the father do the mechanic job. Now it goes along to say it's not a CEO. This guy understudies a tailoring job. Yeah. He understudies his father do the tailoring job. He follows the father to learn the tailoring job. After the tailoring job, he leaves the father and he goes to play his football outside. You can only enjoy this because you are young and your father is young. But you can't see a man that is retired using walking stick and your first son is 7 years old. Now, are you trying to be a blessing or a curse to this son? That's one angle. Now, there are some health implications that come into our lives. The issue of prostrate comes in. The issue of blindness comes in.
Blindness?
Of course.
Please explain.
Now, there are some people as they are aging, their eyes are dimming.
Yes. Some can also be attributed to health factors.
And some could also be attributed to health factors, like Jen said. So you could see that a man at his early 60s is blind because of inability to have, because when you are single, let's do.
So what's the connection between marriage and blindness?
It is reckless life.
Yes.
One of the good things about marriage is it arranges you.
Yes, I was gonna say something on that. Thank you, Mr. Chukuma. I think one of the great things about early marriage is you plan. It gives you the leverage to plan.
Sorry, can I say something?
Yes.
You know, there are some people that have gotten married early.
Yes.
And they are still complaining that they are so unhappy because they got married early. So how do you address that? Because it's not every early marriage that is happy marriage.
Yeah, that's one out of a million. Now, several things could have come into that. You may have made the wrong choice. You marry early, you may not have been agreeing with each other.
But these men are staying late because they want to make sure they don't make that mistake.
Well, the fact the longer you stay, the more chances,
yes, and
the
they
more
also- they
chances
also
of you making that mistake.
Making mistake. There are a lot of
what is
another.
really
There are more
determined? The
adverse
early
effects of
marriage.
late
What's the
marriage
age
than early
considered
marriage.
for early marriage and
The,
late
the,
marriage.
the age considered for early marriage.
Not
if-
early marriage, but like
late marriage.
Like the right term,
Yeah,
for me-
the
for
right time to get
For
married.
me,
Yeah.
for me, a man should
30 is
have been
late.
married at between 25, 30. 30
Thank
is
you.
good.
25, 30 for a
25,
man.
30 years.
25. No, I don't
in
agree.
this
Mr. Chukuma,
dispensation,
that is not feasible. Let's
in
find
this
out.
This is not
dispensation,
feasible.
I have young colleagues that-
I know someone.
I have a lot that are married
It's
at
not about knowing
25.
someone.
Yes,
Excuse
yes.
me.
The person's
Excuse me. It's not about
background.
race. Excuse
The
me.
person came from
That
a
is-
good
wait,
to
I'm
do
coming. It's not
home.
about
told
knowing
you?
someone.
I know.
Let's face it in reality. You graduate at what age? Is this
18,
generation?
20.
At 20, and then you
22,
work at 20.
20.
How many, I mean, psychologically, how many young men are mature to take care of a home in this generation?
Exactly.
okay,
At 25.
No,
At
let me
25.
Jen, let me
I'm
speak to
coming.
you.
How many young men are in this generation, not your generation, at 25 are ready to take care of wives?
Okay, I need you to listen. I need to know this.
How many?
Our focus should not be from the south. We are speaking to a wider audience.
Of course.
So when
Now
you
we
look
I have friends who are
Yes,
from the north. At
exactly.
25, they're married.
Exactly.
And they're taking care of their homes.
Ex-
These
very
guys
well.
are nurtured to look
And
after
in the
their
north,
wives
you have
very
you know,
well.
take care of the
Displaced
woman.
children.
They are nurtured to look after their women as
generalizing. The larger we're talking about the larger population.
You're talking about
We're talking
thanks
about
to
the
what's
larger population. We're not just even what works in the north does it work in every other part of the world. So in Igbo land, will a 25-year-old boy be married?
Yes.
Very
Of course,
unlikely.
Yes.
Of course, why not?
Very
Yes,
unlikely.
from a
That's
half
the
year
truth.
to be exact.
Would you,
Very, very unlikely
would you like to
25-year-old
marry someone
That's the truth.
and you are not there for the person?
When you
How
say
do we
marriage,
know
what
that?
do you mean?
Before you said get married
Psychologically, are they
in the
sound?
north. They
Are
are
they
not even
sound?
in,
I remember that
in
belief
their
system.
town.
I'm coming, my dear. Belief system also is also another factor.
Okay.
So in the north, their belief system, the way their belief system has
Not
been
their
programmed.
belief, the belief system.
Sorry?
The belief system.
Yeah, the belief system, the way it has been programmed. Is it the same with the South? So you cannot, even though yes, we're talking about a larger population, we're trying to bring everybody into the same picture. But if you look at, if you look at it intricately, take into deeper, can a 25 years
Culture.
young might be ready to get married?
Yes.
Who still wants to flex?
I have a question.
It's a
I
mindset.
have
It's a
a question.
mindset.
Can
Sorry,
it
Uncle Chukwu, how old were you when you got married?
I'll say
Help
it
us.
off
The truth
the
is,
camera.
personally, I
I'll
would
say it
not
off the
give
camera.
my daughter
But
to a 25 years
Now,
old
can I
boy.
the question is this.
Generation. I would
The question
not.
is this.
I
Can
would-
I-
He has
the
a
question is
future,
this.
potential.
No.
Sorry, the question. Can I
Because
say
he's not
one
yet
thing?
mature.
I have a question.
This is the
He's
generation of
mature.
young men we
Can
have this.
You know,
days.
age is not
It's the
maturity.
same. Yes, I agree.
Sorry.
I agree.
Okay, sorry,
Can
yeah.
a 25-year-old guy be a CEO?
Yes,
Of
he
course,
can.
he can. There are lots of CEOs.
Did you see what you just said?
Yes, he can.
Yes.
Marriage and business is not the same.
Who says
that
so?
you're good in business doesn't mean you'll be good in marriage. That you're a good man doesn't mean you're a good husband.
You would have waited for me to finish. Marriage is about responsibility.
Yes.
The role of a CEO is about responsibility.
Yes.
Now, when you say you can't give a 25-year-old
That's my view.
your daughter to marry,
Yes.
it means that the guy is irresponsible.
Exactly.
Age,
No.
sorry, darling.
No.
Sorry.
For me, age is a factor.
No,
Age
age
is not
does not
maturity.
It's
define.
my factor. It's me.
No.
It's my factor.
Sorry. Age does not define maturity.
Exactly.
Yes, it doesn't. I have seen a lot of
I have seen 60-year-old
Yes,
immature
of
people.
course.
Age
Of course.
does not define
But the
maturity.
truth is, whether you like it or not, there's some factors. See, in money, like I said from the beginning, marriage is not a joke. It's something that does not. It's not like you get a job today.
But you see,
and
that's
you're-
why these men
and-
are not getting married, because we keep on thinking marriage is not a joke. That marriage is one
Of
very
course,
hard
it's not
institution.
joke. No,
But how
no,
hard
no.
is
I'm
marriage?
happily married. Guess what? I'm happily
How hard
married.
is marriage?
I'm happily married. But remember that when it comes to marriage, when it comes to
How hard
marriage,
is marriage?
listen, when it
Those
comes
are
to marriage,
married.
you're
Are you scaring
bringing
us?
two different backgrounds together. You need to have an understanding of what you're going into. That is my perception. I had that perception. I didn't want to get married at 12. In fact, I had my master's before I got married. I was in my late 20s, and I was happy at the age I got married.
Okay.
Because I fully understand what I was going into. Now, a lot of
So
young
yours
people,
was by choice, not by
it was by, of course, it was by
Can I
choice.
say
I was
this?
when I got married.
At 23, I understood what marriage was.
Yes.
Myself.
Of course.
At,
It's not a one-size
at-
fits
How do you
all.
no, at
understand
20
what
at
marriage
20
was?
Igbo
No, listen.
tribe,
No, it's not
the
about.
Igbo
It's not about.
tribe.
It's
It's
no.
not about-
No,
This
we're not
now.
married.
Even
Hamilton.
the mother will call the son my husband,
Hamilton, see.
even while the son
Hamilton,
is still
listen.
going
It's
on.
not about. I wasn't to talk. My dad didn't sit me down and teach me about
Your
marriage.
mom did.
I lost my mom at a very tender age in my primary 3-4. My father didn't remarry.
Wow.
But I learned virtue from my
I'm sure
dad.
that's why he's not 100.
I learned virtue from my dad because he didn't remarry. That's one. Secondly, I took a lifestyle that helped me a lot. There were some several teachings I understood, and there were some several books I took to read. At this age, I had read a lot of books, personally, self-development. I understood the role of a man, I understood the role of a woman. If my wife were here to tell you, she would tell you that from the time we got married, I have never left the responsibility I should have as a man to the woman, even when it is lacking. Some guys do not understand their role.
They don't.
They do not understand their role
But it's not
as
age
husbands.
related.
It's not. Now, that's what I'm saying now. Now, when I understood everything about marriage, I got married 1 year after my youth service.
Wow.
That's quite exceptional.
I got married 1
That's
year.
quite exceptional.
You got a job because you told me you were already working when you got married.
Yes.
You got a job
1 year we did one,
after
yes.
your youth
And
service.
at
Some
a point
people
there was a
after
conflict.
graduation don't even
There was a
have job.
conflict. There was a conflict. The conflict was when, why would, of all the things you want to do, my elder sister once asked me, when I took my wife to see her in Lagos, she asked me, why of all the things you
Why
want
marriage?
to do as a young graduate, be marriage? I had this understanding and I believed that marrying early would help me settle my life,
Exactly.
and it worked for me. That worked for me. I'm not saying everybody should adopt my template.
That's right.
It worked for me and it has helped me. I have another friend, it worked for him. He's a doctor, his wife is a doctor. He also married almost at the same, he got married December, I married
And you
January.
don't think that marrying early stopped you from flexing as you should?
You would have asked me how much flexing have I had.
Maybe you're not the flex.
Before marriage or after marriage?
Before marriage,
Okay.
I was raised in a home where the discipline was much.
Yeah.
So the first time I had freedom was when I got into the university, if you ask me.
Yeah.
And when I got into the university, it was all over. I was crazy. I was a crazy guy. And you been there, done that, seen it all. Marriage is not a slave driver. Marriage does not enslave the man. The man's life continues even while you are in marriage.
You need to drop
But
that
you
point.
have to let some habits
Drop.
go. Because at this point in time, you are not living for yourself. Now, an instance was 2 weeks ago, I was on a trip. I flew into Asaba, heading to Enugu, and it was late. The young Chukuma left Aba, because I finished from Unical. I left Aba to University of Calabar around 11 p.m. in the night. I followed a public bus, and I didn't care about anything. I wanted to get to Calabar that night because it was a Friday and I wanted to go club. If I was in Aba, I wouldn't go to club. So I got into Calabar about few minutes past 11. All I did was when I got to the house, threw in my bag, picked money, put in my pocket, and I went out for clubbing. But when I was on my way, because of the hold up at the bridgehead Onitsha, my wife called and said, "Where are you?" I said, "I'm at so and so place." She said, "Okay, stop by Inoka and sleep over Inoka." The young Chikuma will want to go to Enugu, then the consequences. I knew I was going to stay over in Oka, but I wanted to drag her. I told her, "Please don't disturb me. I'm going to Enugu." My wife dropped the phone. My 2 children just called me. Those were the next thing. My son asked me, "Daddy, tell me why you are going to Enugu this night. Get to Enugu, get to Oka and get a hotel and sleep. If you don't have money, go to the hotel there, beg them, park the car there and sleep there." Now, what happened was that you live for the people around you.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So there are some vices you need to drop. The fear of dropping these vices. Most guys think that once they are married, they are coming into prison. Marriage is not prison. You build and you move with your peers. Some guys get married and still associate with the younger folks. And because they associate with younger folks, they get influenced because younger folks have the kind of freedom that unmarried guys don't have. You have a wife that says, that does not love you staying late. Whether you like it or not, you respect that her feeling. When it's getting late, you start going home. So you have to you balance the equation.
Uncle Chukma, we've not heard from Ruth. Ruth, how far? Give us the gist.
Seriously. from what he's saying, see, the truth is saying married people are the ones making this whole thing difficult. With the single ones, we have messages out there telling us that marriage is not a child's play. Marriage is this, marriage is that. If you are not ready, don't go into it, and all of that. So they already put this fear
In the men.
in the single, even the ladies.
Okay.
Well, let's
ladies
talk about
have-
the single men. That's my own issue.
Yes, the single men, they fear from the married people is already
I'm no longer
sent
single.
to the single men. Do you understand?
How many times I delivered
The
it?
ladies,
I'm no
I
longer
delivered
single.
it.
ladies have that
I'm good.
fear. We have that fear of, okay, a married woman is telling you,
Yes.
young lady, if you are going to, once you are married,
Yes.
you know that you are leaving everything behind, the kids. It's like your whole life, it has ended once you're married. You get it. At this point, it's as if you have to take, it's all about your kids, your husband. It's nothing about you anymore. So they miss it from those that are married. It comes a whole lot of fear. I mean, we listen
Fear of
to
the
it
unknown.
and we
I think
feel like,
social
why
media-
will I want to go into it?
I think social media
People
is also
that are
not...
into it are not even enjoying it, so why will I want to go
No,
into it?
let me tell you why it seems that way. Social media is not helping issues. It seems that way because a lot of the negativities spread fast on social media.
And another one,
I want to touch one vital area.
Sorry, let me
on social media.
just touch about that negativity. You
Yeah.
know the high rate of men waking up to being killed by their wives.
Okay.
Exactly.
So that could be another reason why these young men don't want to join their
That's
forefathers.
even
sometimes.
by the
Anyway,
way.
the truth is,
the married men also are contributing to it.
Okay.
These days, especially in FCT, you find 70% of the regular ladies you find around that you'd have been able to just say, okay, come and marry me. You find out have like 2 sugar daddies. Sorry, they don't call them sugar daddy again. They call them zaddy
Okay.
or sponsors.
I'm getting to know about
I'm
it.
telling you.
You understand?
Chukuma, I need to
These
wake up.
these
Come
men,
into the
these men, you need to see the vigor at which they at which they run after these ladies. You see them calling to 12 in the night, baby, I miss you. I'm sure they just left their wife to the sitting room or something to call this lady. I don't know what the matter is, but if there's a way we can put a leash on
I think
those married
I was going to
men.
bring up point about
Yeah,
social media. I was
social
going to talk
media,
about
sorry.
social media. The truth is, I love what social media has done to this generation. We can't take away the positivity social media has brought to us, the freedom social media has given to this generation. But whether you also like it or not, social media has had also negative effects on marriages as well. So let me give you a scenario. A young lady is married to a young man, and you know, we were talking about where our parents used to matchmake,
Yeah.
you know, and then they were able to live. Sometimes I ask myself, how was it possible that they were able to live without
Exactly.
issues?
They
Because
had
when they
core
have
values,
issues,
they were
they
just
see that, yeah,
following.
their values. My brother keeps talking about values. They had values
knew
and
the
they
same
respected
thing.
their values. And you know what? When they had issues, and because of what happened then, there were a lot of wives are very docile. They are very loyal to their husband. They just submit totally to me. But like he said, society has evolved, times has evolved. But these days we don't really have much issue. This is what we have is instead of 2 people who are in marriage sitting down and setting down their scores, it goes on social media.
Make their problem
So I
a
have
public problem.
yes, so you see a scenario whereby a lady has issues with her husband. Instead of I'm not happy with the way you spoke to me, or I'm not happy with what you said to me, it goes on social media. I've been suffering in this marriage, or just make some side comments,
Or they start
my every family,
comparing
you know,
themselves
exactly,
with
on
another.
every
social
family, my
media.
Instagram family,
Or you
please.
see people having issues. Yes, that's in
Help
fact
me
there's a
out.
page
Help me
I
out.
follow. There's a page I follow on social media where people come out and relate what happens. My husband did so I asked myself, what's stopped from sitting down that man and let's trash it out? My husband and I have time we trash things out. I just say come, and when I say, you know what, we need to talk, he knows it's time to talk.
Okay, because once your wife tells you
Okay.
you need to talk.
We've
You know,
had plenty. I've really
social media,
enjoyed.
yeah.
I've really enjoyed
Is
that.
our time over?
Unfortunately, our
There's
time
one point,
is
but I'll say it
over.
off
Okay,
camera.
so let me start with you, Uncle Chukuma. What are your last words on this?
Stop being afraid, get married and give back to children. There's nothing there to be afraid of. I've delivered garments, so I hope I delivered
Ladies, please value yourself. Give him a reason why he should marry.
That's
So
right.
if he shouldn't be milking the cow if he's not going to put a ring
Do you
on it.
understand?
yes.
Yeah. So
But she didn't say that.
She said it.
She did.
Okay.
Yes, your point.
Well,
That means you're not milking cow that you're not paying for.
exactly, it seems to be so.
well, Please. We cannot take away the God factor in everything we do. Pray. Anything you're not getting right, sometimes your wisdom is not enough to carry you. Seek other people's opinion. Make sure the people that you are seeking advice from are the right people.
Correct.
And also run to God. Sort your issues on your knees. Just pray, and I'm sure God, He always answers. And He's a merciful God. So whatever it is that is following us, that He has also helped
All
helped
right.
some of
My
us.
last thing
I'm
is
sure it will.
marriage is a beautiful thing.
Okay.
The truth is, there are people who